Hi, I'm Elizabeth, and I am your speech teacher this summer. I'm glad you've chosen to take a summer class at Lewis and Clark Community College, and I'm glad it was speech. So I am excited because we get to meet each other next week, but until then, I wanted to just acquaint you because before I see you, you're going to have Unit 1 information needs to be turned in. So it seems that you're already in the course orientation. That's smart, or you wouldn't have found me. And I'd like for you to go ahead and open all of these files. Every time I put something in a unit, I'm expecting you to click on it, open it, do what it asks you to do, read it, watch the video, whatever that may be. In this case, if you look at the course intro, it's going to tell you how you're going to earn the points to get you the A that I hope that you're wanting in the course. A note that I made a distinction here. When you are looking at your total grade, go by the total points instead of the percentage, because Blackboard is funny, and if I don't put zeros in for work that you haven't yet completed, then it messes with the percentage. So make sure that you're going by total points so that you're not surprised at the end of the course. It is a 90%, 80%, 70% course, of course, but it's a little bit confusing because if you haven't done some of the work, then it doesn't necessarily reflect that in your percentage. So just know that. Also, print out the printable calendar. If we have to make changes for some reason, I will alert you to those in an announcement, and I always email your announcement. So the email is going to go to your LC account. I would suggest that you get one. I know that you have one. I would suggest that you check it, even if you're not a Lewis and Clark traditional student. Go ahead and be checking that, because important announcements do come from the college to that mailbox. So in this first unit, this is the only unit you're going to have 2 discussion posts. Maybe during your persuasive unit, the persuasive speech preparation, you're going to have audience analysis questions at some point. So that might be in an odd unit 2. But generally, in the odd units, you're only going to have 1 discussion post. And what that is supposed to substitute for is our face-to-face discussion that we're lacking because we're only going to see each other on speech days or speech nights, whichever course you're in. And so every time you have a discussion post, you're supposed to think about it critically. There is a rubric for how you will be assessed on discussions under rubrics. Know that every time that you present something in the course, your grammar and your spelling and your punctuation will count. So go ahead and capitalize I, and don't use text lingo. I know that's a hard habit to break, but it will reflect in your score. So go ahead and print out the calendar. It will be a great reminder for what's due every week, because there is something due every week of the 8 weeks that we're together. Remember that this is a 16-week course generally, and it's compressed to 8 weeks for the summer, and that's just going to make you a little bit busy. So, but know that it's just because it's a 3 credit hour class that would be spread generally over a whole semester. So you do need Launchpad access from Macmillan. And so if you're borrowing a book from somebody, that's fine. You still need to go ahead and purchase the online access, because you're going to gain points by doing learning curves and quizzes in each unit. The ones that are required are the ones that are listed in the unit and no others. So make sure that when you go into Launchpad, you're going in through Blackboard, so that everything that you do gets graded and put in your Blackboard gradebook, and you should be monitoring that as the semester goes. There's also right away a discussion board introduction, and on that one, I'm expecting you to reply to all of your classmates. This is a great exercise in audience analysis, so you'll be able to see some things that we're interested in as you plan your future speech topics. On future discussion posts, you're supposed to post by Wednesday, and all your replies are due by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. On those posts, future posts, you only have to reply to 3 classmates. The goal, though, is that you would have a back and forth discussion. So it is not acceptable to post all of your replies at 11 p.m. on Sunday night, because no one is, well, maybe people are on at that time, but that's not when all the discussion is supposed to happen in the course. It's supposed to happen throughout the week. So make it a point to log in every day and check that and see if anyone has a question for for you that you could answer really quickly. I love to see it have a back and forth discussion going. So it will also make our all of our speech nights easier when we're friendly with one another. Generally, that happens in an online class. So you'll find that you'll become more connected than you might think you would. Again, every unit has a quiz, maybe two, a learning curve from Launchpad, and an assignment that is going to be graded by me. All of that is due on Sunday. Generally, I will try to grade on Monday. There may be a couple Mondays when I don't get that done, but I will try to grade as much as I can on Mondays. If you turn things in early, I'll try to grade them as they come in as well. Don't forget, in this course orientation, you need to take this 20-point quiz over course operations that just demonstrates that you are familiar with the way the course is going to be working. So then your information in the class is going to be housed in units. You are only seeing Unit 1 right now, but all the units are going to stay there. And so each week you're going to have a new unit that is listed, and they will list as the new unit first. Next week, you'll see on the printable calendar that next week there are 2 units. Next week is a really busy week. Probably your busiest week of the 8 weeks is next week. We have a speech on Monday, and then we have 2 units due throughout the week, and all that work is due on Sunday. So let's talk about speech night. Speech night or day, depending on which section you're in, you need to show up with a typed outline. It's a keyword outline only, and you have a sample of what I want the outline to look like. There's a recipe right here on the left. It needs to have a title. The assignment will dictate what your general purpose is. It's always 2 words. The specific purpose always starts with the audience will, and it describes the end result that you want your speech to have. So we always begin with an end in mind and have a goal that we are working toward throughout the speech. So on the first speech, you're not expected to have any sources. If you do, make sure that you list them and give credit, but that's just extra. It doesn't get you any extra credit, but go ahead and do that. If you want to use a quote for your introduction or something like that, feel free to. It is not required. However, on your informative speech and your persuasive speech, sources are required, a minimum of 3. And so you need to have correct MLA style, and just listing them on an outline is not enough because I'm the only one who will be seeing that outline. Instead, you need to cite them during your speech. So you'd say, according to U.S. News and World Report, July 2016, Emily Smith said this. So make sure that you give credit where credit is due, because plagiarism is a thing in speeches just like it is in papers, and the consequences are dire. You don't want to go there. So if you want to look at what your speech assignments entail, we have 3 major speeches. The impromptu speech is not considered a major speech. It will happen, it's worth 40 points, and it will happen on informative speech night. The other 3 are things that you can prepare for and should, and they will graduate in the point value. So we will start with the least point-worthy speech, and then the second one will be your informative, and the most point-heavy speech is your persuasive speech. It's also the longest speech. It's a 7 to 10 minute speech. We will record your first 2 speeches, and you will be expected to reflect upon them, and the questions for the reflection are under this tab. And you'll just be expected to type your answers. So those will be due during the week after you give your speech on Monday. So on speech day or night, make sure you come in with a typed outline, a visual aid. Doesn't have to be a PowerPoint. It could be a trophy. It could be a stethoscope. It could be something that you're trying to educate us about in your informative speech. It could be a t-shirt, as long as you call attention to it during your speech. And a way to record your first 2 speeches. So make sure you have enough memory on your cell phone if you're using your cell phone. Throughout the semester, you are going to be doing all your unit work. There will be quizzes, like I said. One assignment that we won't talk about a lot, and I don't want it to get away from you, is your outside speaker review. So sometime during the next 8 weeks, you need to find someone outside of class that you can assess. You go to the rubrics tab, and you print out the rubric for which you think. So if you're going to a church service, it might be persuasive. If you're going to hear about some holiday tradition in your hometown, a 4th of July celebration, and there are speakers. It might be special occasion. So just print out the rubric that you think is going to be appropriate. Fill it out based on your speaker's performance, and then type a paragraph about who you went to see, how long it lasted, where it was, what you thought about it. Just a paragraph. And that can be emailed to me or brought in during the semester on any of the 3 dates. It is due the last day of the course. So there's going to be a lot to do. I hope that you'll find it rewarding. I hope that you'll find it fun. The goal is that you would increase your confidence at the podium. So we're in this together, and I look forward to meeting you on Monday. Have a good first week. Bye.
Can I see your